Okay, so I'm trying this again. Just a few moments ago, I was trying to connect on Facebook and YouTube, and it wasn't working. So fingers crossed that you guys are able to see me on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm just giving it a moment. I'm going to try hopping on Facebook myself and seeing if I see me. Okay, I see me on Facebook, so that's good. So hopefully other people will be able to find me and join. All right, so let me see. Okay, so here we go, trying this again. Thanks for the patience for those of you that were on YouTube. Hopefully you're able to find me again. Okay, Alicia. All right. Whew, thank you. And I saw myself on Facebook, so I know that we're working perfectly again. So thank you guys. Everything seems to be working now. And now I can quit sweating and jump right into our live finally. So again, for anyone who is new to me, my name is Laura Rose, and I'm an intuitive channel and spiritual medium. And I get this beautiful opportunity to use these gifts to help people through all stages of life. And I do that through educating. I do that through energy work. I do that through end of life work. I do that by connecting, helping people connect to the spiritual world as well as the earth world, and bringing all of that together. So that's what I do. And it is such a fun, amazing passion of mine. And I'm seeing comments on Facebook and YouTube. So we're here. Thank you guys for coming back that we're on YouTube and getting back on here again. I appreciate you all. So for those of you who were following along, I just came back about a little less than a week ago from an amazing experience in Egypt. I had wanted to see Egypt since I was a little girl. When I was a kid, I remember my mom's face, but I was trying to like learn how to write in hieroglyphics and to read them. And I remember my mom being like, "Okay." But it has been something that's been really deeply ingrained into my body to see Egypt, and I've wanted to go my whole life, and it's always felt very, very far away. And a little over a year ago, my stepdad passed away. And it really helped me to think about, like, I'm 45. Hopefully, I have a lot of years left. But if I didn't, what would be my biggest regret? And my biggest regret would be not visiting Egypt. So I made it happen and had a really incredible time. And I tried to share photos on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, for anyone who was interested in seeing those. So I had a couple of amazing people that helped make that amazing. I had the travel agent that's a friend of mine that helped get all the tours set up. But then we had the actual tour guide, and she does groups through a tour group, but she also does them on her own. So there were several of you that said that Egypt was your dream as well. So I did share their contact information on, Facebook and Instagram. So I did share it there. But if you're ever interested in contacting them or have questions, you're welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to say that, of course, the travel agent's been my friend for 20 years, but the tour guide, I would now call her a friend of mine too. So I'm able to connect you if you ever decide that's something you would like to do. One of the really cool things that I got to experience is because I am an energy channel. That means I'm clairsentient, and I guess I shouldn't say that's what it means. I am clairsentient, meaning I'm clear feeling. And one of the cool things is we went to so many of these beautiful ancient sites, and I could connect to the energy of these beautiful sites while I was there, which was really cool. But it was very interesting. So the whole week and a half was all these different beautiful ancient Egyptian sites, and kind of almost thrown in on the very last day. They called it Spiritual Egypt, and you went to different spiritual sites, like churches, mosques, things like that. And that was really beautiful. I love ancient churches. I always have. I'm not a churchgoer. I'm someone who connects with spirit and God on Jesus on a regular basis, but I'm not necessarily someone who goes to church. So I wasn't really sure what I was, I was just kind of like, oh, that sounds interesting. The most powerful energy was in one of these churches. And when I signed up for the tour, I didn't understand exactly what I was going to be doing, but I wanted to share this with you guys. It might take me a second to share my screen here. I took a photo. Let me see. There it is. So hopefully you guys can see this. Throughout Egypt, there are places that Jesus and his family hid. And there was a cavern that he and his family stayed in and hid out for 3 months. And they built a church on top of it. So part of this tour I got to go into, there was some steps where you can walk into this cavern and see where Jesus and his family hid for 3 months. And then you would just kind of walk out of it. The energy was so powerful. It was more powerful than any of these ancient, beautiful, like the Great Pyramids, all these different places. The energy was so powerful in there that I even had a moment where I was like, I don't know if I can stay in here very long. It was intense. And it was really, really incredible. And it has sparked in me this desire to go back, whether it's to Egypt or wherever, but to do kind of a spiritual tour and kind of check out these different places that we read about in the Bible. So fingers crossed, I'll make something like that. Spirit and I will make something like that happen. But it was really, really cool, really amazing. And it was just something that was kind of tacked on at the end of our tour that you didn't really even think that much about it. And then it was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. So it was absolutely wonderful. Let's see if there was anything else I wanted. I'm going back to my notes to see if there's anything else I wanted to say about that. It was really cool. And I'm glad that, those of you that I tried to post a picture a day, and then I posted a lot of pictures in my stories. So hopefully you guys got a chance to see them. And if you're interested in seeing more pictures or you missed them and want to see them, I do have them on my personal Instagram page, which is Laura Rose 444. Actually, it might be Laura.Rose 444. But anyway, you can go there. I've got them all listed, all the pictures shown there. So you're welcome to check them out if it's something that you want to learn more about. They even at that particular place it was covered, but it was a place where like the well was, where they were drinking the water. It was really cool. And I've got pictures of all of that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It was really incredible. Just truly a dream coming true. So, if anyone hasn't noticed yet, there's a new logo and new offerings for 2025. And I started it last month. So we've had about 4 weeks of it. So I'm sure you guys have noticed by now. But in case you haven't, I do want to bring it to your attention. Spirit has been doing a great job of leading me. And when I'm led, then I get to turn around and offer those services, those gifts, those bits of education. I get to turn around and offer it to all of you. They've given me the image of like, there's kind of like the old world, right? Like where we all were when we were sleeping. And then this new world where we're awake and we're moving into our best life and stepping into a truly spiritual path. They've given me the image that I stand with one foot on each part of that land. And as people come up, I hold your hand and I help you get over to the other side. So that's part of my role here. And as my intuitive gifts change and develop, then I get to turn around and offer those different gifts and to you all. So in 2024, I was offering energy healings and workshops. Those were my offerings. In 2025, my offerings still include those, but I now also offer one-on-one learning opportunities. So if someone's like, I really want to learn how to use a pendulum, I can do that. Let's sit together for an hour and work together, and I will show you how to clear your pendulum. I will show you how to use a pendulum. We'll practice together, which is super fun. I stand there with my pendulum. You're on the other end of the world with yours. We ask the pendulums questions together, and it's fun to have the pendulums answering those same responses on either side. It's very cool. Or maybe you would love to learn how to channel, or you would love to learn how to meditate better. Whatever it is, there's lots of different things that I have learned and been taught, and then I can turn around and teach you. So those one-on-one spiritual offerings are available. Another thing I offer now is spiritual mediumship. So as a medium, I can help connect people with their loved ones that have passed over. And just this morning, I shared a very personal story about a picture that has made its way back to me. So if you didn't see that, you can check it out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube in the feed. And the only reason that happened, and the only reason I can truly love and appreciate it, is because of my being able to connect with my father that has passed on, and for us to work together to create a healing journey between us. So even though he had passed on, by being a medium, I can work with that. And we were able to heal a lot of energy between us. And then he's given me that gift. So that's something I do. And sometimes during the energy healing sessions, my clients' loved ones will hop in and we clear energy between you and a loved one. I also have had it happen where I'm doing a mediumship session and there's some energies there that really need to be healed. And I will ask my client, do I have permission to clear that energy? And I'll use the Reiki piece of it to help clear the energy between you and this loved one. Another fun thing that we can do during mediumship is I can teach you how to talk to your loved one in spirit using a pendulum. So there's all sorts of cool ways that all of this kind of tie together. And then the other offering that I've started doing for 2025 is end of life doula work. So there's a lot of fear around passing, right? There's a lot of fear around the unknown and passing. And my guides have been so clear that it's really a birth back. So we birth here. There's people that catch us when we're born, and in the hospital or wherever we're born, there's these loved ones that catch us. And then on the spirit side, when we pass, there's someone on the other side. So there's almost like doulas on either side that are doing this sacred work to help people with their transition, whether it's a transition into earth, which we call being born, or a transition out of earth, which we call dying. So as someone who has this ability to not only offer space, compassion, also like the earth logistics of it, right? Like advanced care planning and all that stuff. There's that piece of it. There's also the spiritual piece where we can help someone who's in the process of passing identify, what do you want your passing to look like? Who do you want there? Do you have some loved ones on the spirit side that you want to call in now and start making some plans with? So there's a bunch of cool stuff that we can do with that. So that's the other service offering I've been for 2025. And I'm excited about all of them, excited to offer all of this to you all. So if you've seen the new logo and the new offerings, that's what's going on. There's 2 workshops. I'm still going to continue to offer 2 workshops a month. So there's one a week from today that's on the sacral chakra. So in January, we kicked off a chakra series. The root chakra was in January. And we're moving up to the sacral. If you are interested and missed the root chakra one, I would encourage you to purchase the recording. It's only $11.11 from me, but we talk a lot about energy in general during that one. It's kind of a good base layer. And then we moved into the root, and then we'll move into the sacral for this next month. And then later in the month, I just got it up on my website yesterday, so you may not have seen it yet. Later in the month, there is going to be a talk about the afterlife. I have a panel of 3 very special guests that are in spirit that are helping me answer questions that people have about the afterlife. What was it like? What one of they're my fathers. They're different fathers, 2 of them in this lifetime, one in a different. And one of them passed away very suddenly. One of them passed away very slowly. What was that like? On a spiritual level, what did that look like? How was your afterlife experience? What did that feel like? And asking some questions and getting some information. I've been posting, putting it out there to you all. If you have questions, to send them to me. And I've gotten some really great questions. So we're going to ask those plus any others. So that's coming up on the 23rd. So let me see. I see the chat going off in the corner of my eye. So I'm going to take a moment just to see if there's anything I've missed. Hello. Hi, Christina. It's good to see you. Oh, hi, Ashley. Good. Glad to see you guys. All right. So we're going to I'm going to talk briefly about intuition. Today's Reiki offering is about tapping into intuition. So I'm going to talk briefly about intuition, and then we'll do our Reiki offering. And then if you've followed along with my newsletter or with the channeled message from Spirit, you will know that we are being encouraged to hold our light, to be open channels for the love of Source that wishes to move through us and anchoring into Earth. There's been a lot of the channeled messages have been coming up that yes, Earth is a bit turbulent at the moment. That's okay. That's why there's light workers like all of you stationed all over the world. And today, after we do our intuitive stuff and that Reiki offering, we're together I'm going to guide you into anchoring light into Earth so that we can help with just the energy of the planet, helping with stabilizing. And it's something that you can then take away from this and do as often as you feel called to. And what's interesting is not only when we do this are we bringing beautiful energy to the planet, we are also receiving this beautiful energy from Source, receiving this grounding energy from the planet. So we benefit as well. So it's amazing how it works, but we benefit even as we're giving. So we'll all benefit from this as well, personally, as well as give to the planet in a positive way. Okay. And you'll have to excuse my voice. Looking at my notes here. Egypt was very smoky. Evidently, which I did not know this, part of harvesting sugar cane is burning off the parts of the plant that you don't want. And it was very smoky there. So this happens to be the time of year that they do it. And you'd be in a monument and it would be so smoky that you couldn't, it was like hazy and you would be literally inside of it. And my nose and my eyes, things were very itchy and burning. And I have been home a little, like just under a week, and I'm still recovering from all the smoke. So my eyes and my throat, everything's a little bit. So my normal soothing meditation voice may not be there today, but that's okay. I'm glad you all are here anyway. Okay. And one last announcement before we hop on. I'm looking at my notes. The next free live of Reiki offerings is going to be March 9th at 11 a.m. Eastern. I do try to do these the first Sunday, but I have something that first Sunday, so it's going to be the second Sunday. All right. So let's talk about intuition. So intuition comes to us in a variety of ways. Before I learned more about intuition, I really only thought of intuition as receiving visions. It seemed like all the cool people that you follow online or, or books you read, they're all clairvoyant. They're all getting clear visions and they see different things. So when I began my journey, I was convinced that was the only way intuition works. And it wasn't until I was moving along and just educating myself and going to workshops and learning from teachers that I found out it works in different ways for different people. So for me, my big one when I first started was clairsentience, which is feeling. So when I began doing energy healing work, I would connect to client and I could feel in my body where their energy, and it still works that way for me now. It's still very clear, but I can they'll show me anything that they want me to work on. So I can feel headaches. I can feel back pain. I can feel menstrual cramps. I can feel knee pain. I can feel pain in the shoulder. Whatever it is that they want me to direct energy to, they will show me when I connect to the energy of a client. And that's called clairsentience. The other way intuition works is claircognizance, which is almost like data just kind of shows up and you have no clue where it comes from. You just seem to know things. That's another type of intuitive ability. And I am also very claircognizant, but forever, ever and ever and ever, I just thought I was really smart and I would just talk. I could talk to somebody and I would just pick up on something and I would know things. It never once occurred to me that it was data being dropped in. So that is another intuitive ability. Another one would be clairvoyancy, which is visions. That is something that I also have, but it has taken a few years for that intuitive ability to develop. So I'm happy that I have it, but it did take a little bit of time for that one to develop. But then I learned to rely on those first two quite a bit. So Claire, I'm trying to remember the other Claires. There's several. There's one where it's taste, where there's people that receive taste. There's also one where you can hear. So you might actually hear somebody speaking to you and receiving information that way. And then there's lots of people that have multiple, and they all kind of work together to give you a whole image or information. So when we do this Reiki, there's going to be a period of time where I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, and it's going to be quiet, and just a couple of minutes for you to receive data. And I want you to stay open to how that data comes in. So if you're clairsentient, you might feel chills, or you might feel a hug, like a loving feeling. And it might feel like, oh, what is that? Is that any data? But it is. It's a way that information is trying to make its way to you. So just stay open to how it comes through. And the other thing that's important, and this happens, and it happens to me now, but it happened to me a lot early on, is that sometimes we might not get anything during, or we might think we're not. And what's really happening is we're unconsciously blocking it because there's a little bit of anxiety there. We feel like we're not intuitive, whatever it is. So there might be a little bit of a block that you have. And if that happens and you don't receive anything, just stay open, because they will find ways to communicate with you. And it might be where you open up Instagram 5 minutes later and exactly the answer is right there on a post. Okay. So they come, our guides and helpers have a really cool ways that they work through us. As you work on yourself and continue to raise your vibration, keep your chakras clear, practice using your intuition. As you do this, you will find that more and more of your intuitive abilities will come online. And that has been what I've experienced. And it's pretty cool. It's really cool to be like, okay, I'm going to practice. I'm going to receive a vision. And I like to do my morning meditations and just listen to music. And then I'll say, show me a vision, give me a vision, so that we can practice my clairvoyancy together and we'll work together in those types of ways. It's really fun. Okay. So today, before we get started, I'm going to give you space to practice your intuition. During this, you're going to be guided to ask your higher self, which is your soul self, a specific question, and then stay open to receive data in whatever form it comes. So again, this is a practice I love to do. I'm just going to I'll give you like 2 minutes to ask the question, and you can just relax. I will continue to offer Reiki during that, and then we'll move into offering loving energy to the planet. So this meditation, this time together, is infused with loving Reiki energy to assist you. If you wish to receive this energy, just say yes quietly to yourself. And get comfortable if you're not already. And when you feel ready, you may close your eyes. And let's begin by opening your heart through breath. Take 3 deep breaths in and out of your heart space, and allow yourself to relax deeper and deeper with each breath. Nice big inhales. Relaxing exhales. Fully releasing. Settling more and more into this present moment. Letting go of any worries you might have going on in the back of the mind. All those things, they'll be just fine. They will resolve themselves. This is time for just you to connect to your higher self, to connect to your intuition. This is yours, time and space. And as you return to your normal breathing, visualize your cells lighting up with life force energy with every inhale. And with each exhale, just relax a bit deeper and deeper. Inhale, your cells light up. And exhale, relax deeper and deeper. Another breath in, lighting up your cells, raising your vibration, aligning you with your light, with your higher self. We invite your higher self to descend down and join you for this practice. This loving presence is grateful for the opportunity to connect with you today. Your higher self joins you now. You might see this light sitting next to you. You might feel this light above you. You might feel this light within you. This is your soul self, a loving helper and guide, and a vital part of your journey. Take a moment to ask your higher self a specific question you might have, or you can simply request to receive information for your highest and greatest good. And now simply stay open to how the answer wishes to arrive. Remember, there's lots of ways that intuition works. If you know the way that works best for you, then you can look to that, or just stay very open to how it wishes to come in. I'm going to stay quiet for a couple of minutes and just give space for you and your higher self to have this conversation. You can go ahead and start to wrap up any conversations or plan to resume them after we hop off of here. And we're now going to open ourselves to the loving light of Source and open ourselves to be a channel of this light and allow it to move through us to the core of the earth so that we can bring loving energy, loving stabilizing energy to this planet. I'm picturing all of your beautiful souls just all over the world. Even those who watch this later, we're all doing this together because time doesn't exist. The love of Source is right there at your crown chakra at the top of your head. And with your permission, it's going to move on through and it's going to fill your whole body up with light. And if you're okay with this, just say yes and allow it to move through. And it's going to move all the way through to the bottom of your feet. And then this light is going to continue down, down, down into the core of the earth. And you may see it as I do, as a beautiful planet with just these loving channels of light spread out all over it, bringing loving energy to our planet. We're just going to take a moment to allow this energy to continue to move through. And again, as it's moving through, it's filled you up with love. It's filled you up with light. And then the Earth's energy wishes to offer you grounding. So this energy is moving up through those channels to the bottom of your feet. And it's moving up your legs, all the way up to your heart chakra. And its grounding energy is a thank you, a gratitude from our planet to you for being a channel. You might feel tingling as you're in your legs as this is happening. This is normal. Just this beautiful, loving energy. And as we do this, the energy of the earth, it just grows brighter and brighter. When this meditation ends and we head off to the different things that we have to do today, our light will continue to shine. And we will have a positive impact on all of those around us. I'm going to begin by assisting by grounding your energy. You are welcome. It's up to you. You are always welcome to close off from this energy of Source and Earth, or stay open. I like to stay open because it's love and it feels good and it's coming from Earth and God. But if it's uncomfortable for you, and I am just simply grounding your energy. You are welcome to come back fully by moving your body, stretching, wiggling your fingers and toes, whatever feels right to you. I'm continuing to offer grounding energy for anyone who needs it. So there's no rush. Take all the time you need. As you come back, just taking your time, I'm going to answer one of the questions in the chat. Phil asks that he often receives white, blue, or red dots from his guides to guide him. So white would mean being okay, blue would mean love, and red would be like stop or wrong. I think that's a really cool way, first of all, for the spirit world to communicate with you. And if you're seeing a dot, like if it's in your mind's eye, then I would call that clairvoyancy. If you see it more as like you open up your Instagram and you see a dot, I would call that more of a way that they're communicating with you. Because we're on social media a lot. They use social media frequently to communicate with us because we're always in our phones, right? So they will use that as a way to communicate. So I hope that answers your question. Before anyone hops off, I see another question. I'm going to answer that too. But before anyone hops off, I do want to emphasize how important it is to drink water. Anytime you receive energy, please be sure to drink plenty of water. So do drink water after this. If you feel like you need time to rest and relax, that's just part of integrating the energy. So please do that. And if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to put it in the chat. Another thing would be, I would love to hear how that experience was for you. If you feel like sharing any visions, any downloads, you don't have to give the details, but if you received anything and want to share in the chat, I would love to hear it and see how everyone's doing. So Angel asks a great question. How do you balance intuition and wanting to follow what you're being guided to, and then the constraints of life, such as jobs, right? I get that. I think, of course, it depends a lot on what you're being guided to. Our helpers, they're aware of life, right? Like they're aware. So if you are being guided to completely change your life, which is something I experienced a few years ago, I was guided to completely change my life. It took a lot of courage, and it took me a lot of time to finally go, okay. But if you're being guided to do something that feels really, really big and really scary, like I can attest to, what I have found is if I say, okay, yes, I'll do it, but I need you to show me the steps, and I need it to be as gentle as possible. Show me the steps, make it gentle, and I will take the steps. And I have found that my guidance system, my intuition, it's going to work with me in my life where my life is currently at. So that is what I have found. It's like it all works together just perfectly. My mind might be completely sure it's not going to, but the spirit world will take care of everything. It'll all come together perfectly, and it almost always comes together in a way that's tremendously better than I ever could have put it together myself. So hopefully that answers your question. Brandy saw a door during this. Yes. To me, doors represent new beginnings. If the door is open, like it's opening in front of you or open, to me, that feels like an opportunity, new beginnings. Are you ready to step through the door? That type of thing. If the door is closed, and if in your vision you felt like you couldn't go to it, that can mean a couple of different things. It can mean that maybe the path you're on, there's a detour that's closed, there's a path you're on that needs to be moved and go a different way. And they're trying to let you know, hey, everything's cool, but it's where you're headed is closed and we're going to send you a different direction. Or it could mean that you have some blocks and they're like, here's the door. It's up to you to open it. And it's up to you to kind of take those steps to open. So, and if you got something completely different from that, that's okay too. That's just where my interpretation comes in. Okay, Brandy. Yvonne could hear voices like it was far away on a radio. Very cool. Clairaudient, I believe is what that's called. And when I first started having clairvoyant visions, they were super grainy, like almost like if you're watching like the old school television and it was like super staticky, that's how the visions would come in, like very grainy, almost like, am I even getting a vision? What is this? So what I'm wondering is if you're clairaudient, and as if you continue to learn to work on that, you will start to hear more and more and more. Tiffany started feeling emotional but received loving comfort. Yeah, they're great at that, aren't they? You're on the right path and need reassurance. Girl, I'm just going to raise my hand and tell you that happens to me, I think, almost every day. They're every day going, oh, okay, I guess we got to reassure Laura again. It's okay. It's all right. They'll do it. They'll help you, and they will just literally hold your hand the whole way through it. They'll take good care of you. So I'm glad that you had that experience. So Brandy just finished your cancer treatment. So did you feel like that closed door was them saying it's complete, it's done? That's beautiful. We got a message that you will be okay. Wonderful. So Kelly, just looking at Kelly's question, I asked 3 questions, but one question is one I ask almost every time. I got a yes to that question, but since the response comes with frustration, is it possible or is it me projecting? I find that our guides, and like I just mentioned a moment ago, I need a lot of reassurance. My guides and helpers are usually very loving, and it might be short, it might be just a yes, or the response might be very direct. But when it's coming from them, what I find is it's very neutral or loving, if that makes sense. So it'll feel very like neutral, factual, loving. So if that helps at all, sometimes our mind, especially if it's a question we ask often, it's out of insecurity, right? So we're asking a question out of kind of feeling insecure, and then maybe you get a very factual response, and then we can feel like, oh, they're tired of us. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of hard to over a chat to fully encompass that, but hopefully that makes sense. What I find is no matter how much reassurance they will give it, but sometimes it is very factual feeling instead of if I'm crying, then it might be a little bit more loving and supportive. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, perfect. Okay, Kelly, makes perfect sense. Perfect. I'm glad. Awesome. Well, this was wonderful. Thank you guys for spending so much time with me. Gosh, we've been on here almost an hour. I try to keep these to 30 minutes, but we had some good stuff coming on here. So I appreciate all of you taking time to spend some time with me today. I love that so many of you received visions and messages and feelings of comfort and support. That's exactly what they do. Exactly what they do. And again, I've had it happen, especially early on. many times where I didn't get anything. And so then I would doubt my intuition, but they're very clever and they find other ways to get messages to us. And social media is a big one. I don't know how many times I've opened up an app and the answer I'm seeking is right there. It's literally the first thing I see. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Or they'll use number sequences. So the 444 is all about you're not doing this alone. So I think it was earlier this week, we had a Pisces moon happening, which is a very watery, emotional energy. So guess what I was? Watery and emotional. And they were showing me 444 all over the place. You're not alone. You're not alone. We're with you. You're not alone. So sometimes they'll use number sequences to help us also, just to reassure us. 111, new beginnings. 222, keep the faith. 333, ascended masters are with us. 444, you're not alone. 555 is change is coming. 666 is balance. Bring yourself into balance. So if I'm having a lot of emotions and if I'm having a day, but it tends, and then it's moving into another day and my thoughts are, you know what I'm talking about, ugly, weird thoughts. I'll start seeing 666 everywhere where they're like, balance, get yourself under balance. It's okay to be emotional, but don't let your thoughts take over because you'll start to manifest that. So they're like, get it together. 777 to me always means alignment. You're on your right path. 888 is abundance. 999 is ending. And 000 is infinite possibilities, meaning, hey, you can do it. If you can dream it, you can do it. Spirit's with you and spirit will co-create. Okay. All right. Perfect. You guys are so welcome. This was really wonderful. So grateful for this time together. I will do another live in 5 weeks on the 9th, I think is what I said. And I will also, I've got 2 workshops this month. So if you enjoy learning and my goal is always to empower you. So it's always for me to remember that image of me as the bridge. The workshops are a way. These are a way that I'm empowering you all. The one-on-one sessions are all about empowering you guys, right? You are your own guru. You have lots of teachers to help you, but always remember that you're your own guru. So I'm here to help you, empower you. So if you're interested in any of the workshops, I've got 2 this month, or one-on-one sessions. I've got lots of different options. So thank you guys for spending so much time with me. David 1111, to me that means new beginnings, but it can also mean alignment, right? Like the ones meaning alignment. So you might feel into maybe a thought that you might be having at the time. And if it's a thought that you're having at the time that feels like a yes, that feels right, that could very well mean alignment, and they're letting you know that thought is in alignment. I hope that helps. So pay attention to your thoughts when you see that. Actually, with any of the numbers, pay attention to your thoughts when you see it. That will help you to understand what they're trying to communicate to you. You guys are so welcome. Thanks for spending so much time with me today on a Sunday. It was really wonderful to connect with you all. Feel free to send me messages or an email or anything if you have any questions that I may have missed. Hopefully I caught them all. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys at workshops or the next live or one-on-one. I look forward to it. All right. Have a wonderful day.